get any clues about Arthur?
Don't worry at all. He will soon be found. I am here to ask you some questions. Sheer. Oh, sorry. Pardon me, Miss Shirley.
It is fine. Call me Shirley, please. Go ahead with the questions.
Oh, thank you. You can call me Anna too. Actually, I wanted to ask you about Arthur's family. What does his parents do?
He was abandoned by his birth parents. His adoptive parents died in a car accident a year ago. His mother was a housewife, and his dad was a famous businessman. He has no one but me, nah.
I see. I am so sorry to hear that. Also, I have met your father, Shirley. He became so healthy suddenly, the doctor was even talking about letting him come home within an hour.
Really? That's so good. Oh my, I did not know.
I may take my leave now, excuse me.
Sure, thank you for everything.
Mr. Brad, can you tell me about the whole incident of when Mr. Greenwell's wife went to meet him?
Yes, of course. Mrs. Greenwell went to the police station, bought some food for Mr. Greenwell. She was wearing a pink dress with a jasmine flower in her head. She asked one of the staff if she was looking pretty, and mentioned that jasmine was Mr. Greenwell's favorite flower. She then spoke with Mr. Greenwell. That day was Mr. Greenwell's birthday, so she insisted to go inside and eat together. They had a talk and made up. Then they were both dead within 30 minutes. A high dose of atropine was found in that food.
I have provided you a number list, right? Can you give me details of the persons on the list?
Yes, here are the details. All of them were in the same college and university as Mr. Greenwell.
I see. Thank you, Mr. Brad. You can leave now.
You're most welcome, and thank you.
There are 3 suspects. First is Mr. Hendrick. He married Miss Collins. Both of them were in the same class with Mr. and Mrs. Greenwell. Mr. Hendrick is a big businessman. He has a company. He also has some small business of flowers. Second suspect is Miss Sally. She did not have a good relationship with Mrs. Greenwell in the college days. Third suspect is Mr. Kevin. He is a doctor. He may know well about poisons. Mr. Kevin and Mr. Hendrick stays pretty close by. The rest of the list stays abroad. There does not seem possibilities of anyone else on this matter. Let's see. Hello, Mr. Hendrick. I am Inspector Anna. I have some questions for you. I will really like it if you cooperate. It is about the murder of Mr. and Mrs. Greenwell. You may know about it, right?
Please, have a seat. And yes, I do know about it. Wasn't it Mary who was convicted in the case years ago?
Thank you. Do you also think she was the culprit?
No, I did not believe it was Mary.
So you can understand why we are reinvestigating the matter. I wanted to ask you about where were you on the 13th of March, 2000? Do you remember?
Yes, of course. How can I ever forget that day? It was in the news everywhere about Greenwell. I was on Germany because of business. I checked the social media, and my wife, who stayed home, also told me. That's how I got all the news. I also have my visa and other proof.
How is Miss Colling now? Don't mind at all. I am also curious why you two got married.
She is just fine now. Well, we married because of the obvious reason. We liked each other. After university, I did not have any contact with her actually. But eventually one day we met, we went on a date and started communicating. That's how we decided to marry. When I first saw her, it was 1996, October 10th. She looked so weak and sick back then, but eventually she got so gorgeous.
I see. Thank you for your time, Mr. Fendrick. I may leave now.
My pleasure.
The house of Miss Sally, now. Let's see, Mr. Hendrick did not look suspicious.